Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the world of RaceFace.Pro. And just to let everyone know that music is actually free to play, and it is from the likes of Senpai Studios. If wants to take a look at them. But yeah, welcome to the world of RaceFace.Pro. My name is Stephen Koenig, and we're in for a absolutely tremendous day of racing for our pros, pro-ams, and ams. Everyone's super excited because today we are racing at the Nordschleife 24-hour circuit, and you have no idea how happy I am that this is working. But we're going to be having a bit of fun. I was going and saying, hi, is this licensed music? No, it's from Senpai Studios. It's free to play, so go and take a look at them. And how's it as well? Well, beautiful track, beautiful sights and scenes, but we're going to qualifying first as we go with Mac van der Merwe, who was putting in a stellar effort last week at Brands Hatch, getting the fastest in qualifying. He's going to get himself out onto the Nords. We've got more Drake Larsons out on circuit from Pandacity. We have got Jean Verveers having just as much luck as I had last night. Conor Bergstrom in 4th place. Kilian Reiner, Sunjin Pillay, along with Bego Krobler. We've got Daniel De Villiers. Now, I've been asked to show specifically Bego Krobler's new livery, which has got Max on the sides, got Pepsi written all over it, and Raceface on the wing. So a big shout out there. And Arnold was saying better than last night. Yes, way better than last night. You have no idea. I nearly cracked the glass table that my computer is at with my own bare hand. Needless to say, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Bad for your health. Alright, as we take a look, Daniel De Villiers, Bernard Barkhuizen, Alan Patterson, Werner Skuman, Rian van der Race, Darren Miller, Jaco Kutzer, along with Daniel Rowe, Jude Neville, Brandon Kruger, Mahiath Musa, Ryan Barrington-Smith, Jason Farmer, and Ruan Heineke, rounding out our field. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because let's talk about the very track that our drivers are powering their way around. This is one of the hardest racetracks in the world. It earned its name the Green Hell, thanks to Niki Lauda after he went to crash the car and nearly burnt alive in his Formula 1 way back in the day. 172 corners, 25.9 kilometers long, and the home of the ADAC 24 hours. I mean, this was a proper banger of a race. I'm saying Steven, you would have been proud of last night. Trust me, I was gutted to not be on the mic last night, but at least got to solve a bit of issues, a bit of a tech problem. Not quite sure what happened, but hopefully it's in the rearview mirrors and we're going past. But taking a look at our drivers who are currently making their way through this incredibly long circuit. We got 20 drivers that will be going out and having a bit of fun. This is our pro division. We do have a pro-am division, and we have a am division. That being said, a couple of new drivers coming and racing as well. Good to see some new drivers coming into the classes. Quinton Costa, actually from Red Star Raceway, joining up tonight. His very first race in league racing and, well, any sort of online racing. He's now going to have a bit of fun of it in the world of RaceFace.Pro. So big shout out to him. Taking a look, a lot of support coming in for Conor Bergstrom. The Pandacity Infiltrate Panda Pounce team. Exotic going in, showing in a lot of enthusiasm. It's always great to see a bit of enthusiasm for our drivers, but let's give it a little bit loud. Let's give it a bit of noise to come through and go racing, because we want to hear these engines purr. We want to hear them go as they fight their way through onto our old pit straight. Couple of corners to keep an eye out for. This is a flat out uphill section. You're going to have to keep your foot firmly on the gas as you snake your way up. There's a quick left-hander that you've got to just do a slight lift, get the car rotated, and get yourself going. No one's able to put a time on the board yet. Here's the left-hander. You've got to run it so close to the wall, not too close that you get caught out. And up you go as we're following Kilian Reiner. Let's go to his helmet cam. as that will give us an indication of how hard you have to get on the anchor. Seeing Mac van der Merwe getting it sideways. One off track means that it's game over for your drive. So you've got to ensure you're getting this absolutely dead right in through the first carousel. Holding it in second gear over the crest, not to bottom the car out too much though, as you get back on the gas and get going as fast as you can. Through to fifth, back it down to fourth, into third. Some people are able to take it in fourth if your aerodynamics work with you. These drivers taking a little bit of a fast and loose setup, mainly gearing it up for that long killer straight. Now, very good questions coming in. I actually want to see what everyone's thoughts are going to be. Who do I think is going to be the one to watch out for in this race? So, who's my money out on this one? I would have to put the money on Kilian Reiner or Bego Krobler. Bego will keep himself at bay, not try to get into too many fights. Daniel Rowe, the Lambo has been a bit of an odd one to throw in. Very quick, but very unstable over the crest, so I don't think the Lambo is going to be the easiest to do it. I think we might see a couple of cars dropping a wheel off on the track. Any other divisions being streamed elsewhere other than from drivers sharing their point of view? No. But that being said, for everyone here, we're going to, well, let the cat out of the bag a little bit because we're going to have a bit of a special going on. Jeff Hancock's is busy actively recording the racing for the Pro-Am. And that being said, we're going to have our recording the same as what you're seeing here, and we will have commentary over that. So, Pros live, Pro-Am will be a post-race recording, but we will have a Pro-Am coming out to you guys. That is sponsored by SA Lube, bringing in a new factor into it. So our Pro-Ams will get a bit of airtime, and we're working in the future of maybe getting our AMs as well. Main thing is to bring it in, have a bit of fun, put it properly, and go for it. Exotic, where is the guy that didn't finish the last race with the Aston Martin? Paul Gerber. Not Paul Gerber, that would be, that's Paul the Wall. Paul the Wall Fenter. Doesn't look like he is in here to go and get a race done, so he is missing out, unfortunately. Mac van der Merwe back out on track, as the rest of our cars making their way around to see who can get the first lap times in. The first lap time being set by Kilian Reiner, an 8-minute 14 as he comes across the line. And Alan Patterson put himself into second, drops down into third with an 8:17.0. Jaco Kutzer with an 8-minute 14 as he comes across the line. Mac van der Merwe still trying to get some pace out of there. So as it stands, Daniel Rowe comes across the line, does an 8-minute 15.08. So Kilian Reiner still at the top of the charts, 0.7 of a second quicker. Jason Farmer gets it across the line, puts a bit of spacing between himself and Alan Patterson, 8-minute 15.7. Mordred Claessen's putting in a quick lap time, an 8-minute 13.9 ahead of Kilian Reiner. So those killer times starting to come in. Darren Miller putting in a lap time. He gets a 8-minute 17. So as it stands, we have got Mordred Claessen's, Kilian Reiner, Jaco Kutzer, Daniel Rowe, Jason Farmer, Ryan Barrington-Smith in the Porsche. Puts himself with an 8-minute 16.6 as he comes through. This is going to be a proper run. Now, the question is, how many laps are the drivers going to do? Well, you're going to get roughly about 3-4 laps on a tank before you're going to have to pit. Might be able to stretch it out to 5. So I would say roughly 12 laps, 13 laps for it. Very good question that goes out. What is the best car? So I would love to hear everyone's opinion because, well, I think we got varied opinions on this one of what would be the best car. Who do you think the best car is? I know Saki Goes Bossy is saying the Toyota 86 GR is the best around the circuit. I'm waiting for a bit of a comment to come through on that one. Sean Kirby Smith, this evening, everybody. So in terms of GT3, as we see Yako Kutsa going off, dropping a wheel, I think that will invalidate his lap. I would have to lean on, well, everyone's got majority Ferrari. But at the moment, I would have to lean, if the BMW can get some pace underneath it, would be the best. Purely on the fact of that thing bounces on curbs so hard. So I think that would be the main top breadwinner of it all. Unfortunately, this time around, it doesn't seem to be getting some pace. Mammoth is struggling a bit there. As 21 cars out on track. Mordred Claessen's chasing down. He's leading the pack. Julian Reyna's going to try and break it. Saying, I rate the Ferrari as the easiest drive, but the Aston is a favorite in my opinion. The Ferrari is easy to drive, I give you that. But the latest of the BOP that's been brought in by LFM, which is what we run here at RaceFace.Pro, we race with the BOP. It does not favor the Ferrari. The Ferrari actually getting a fair amount of weight to it. So you've got a lot of understeer that goes through the corners. Aston is good. Do appreciate that. But it gets light on the rear. That's the only thing. When you get it wrong, it gets light on the rear, and it does eat into those rear tires quite a bit. And on a track like this is a bit of a tough one. I haven't tried the new Mustang as yet. Personally, I do a lot of iRacing compared to ACC, because ACC is one of these sims that you either got it or you don't. And quite frankly, if I'm out on the track with all you amazing people out there, I would be just a mobile Monza 1 chicane. That T1 will be moving, and that T1 will be called Stephen Koenig. So I've hung up my boots for the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione, and yeah, take part in some fun racing. Don't think I can ever compete on the same level of what we got here with our pros and our pro-ams and our ams that are currently racing, that are extremely quick, putting in tons and tons of time right here for the RaceFace.Pro GT3 Championship. Round 4, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Adenauer Machinery Mart and SA Lube. It's so great to have sponsors jumping on board, getting into it. And we had a meeting with SA Lube. Game plans, new ideas, what's coming through, all of it. And a couple of the new things that's coming through is we're going to be pushing up our social media a lot more. You'll be seeing it being done a lot more. So go out on Facebook, go look up RaceFace.Pro, go like the page. We also got our Twitter, Instagram, and a few others being made, so keep a very close eye on that. We're also going to be taking highlights from the best moments of the racing, which you're seeing out on circuit, and what we don't get to see on track. We have given the opportunity to the drivers to notify us of their personal best moments. Go and let us know their name, their surname, what lap, what corner, and who were they with. And we're going to clip those moments and give them a bit of excitement. So even though you may be fighting for last place, you can get a moment in the sun. Shared by SA Lube, Adenauer Machinery Mart, and RaceFace.Pro. So how's that one? And you guys, the crowd, can also go and choose those moments. You can notify us, go and get in touch with Hansi Myberg, myself, Robertus, Hugo. Go and start launching through. There will actually be a Google form that'll be put together in for it. So absolutely monstrous stuff coming through in the week. As you see, Jude Neville crosses the line, putting himself in first in 8 minute 13.0. We have seen a couple of GT3s able to break that 8 minute. They get into the 7 minutes, but it is absolutely flying. Mordred Claessen needs to try and improve that, as he is behind one of the LTR cars, so that's going to give him a bit of a slipstream on the way through. Kilian Reyna has pulled into the pits, Jaco Kutze into the pits, so they are waiting it out. And Maeth Musa not putting in a lap time. Well, he has actually got himself on circuit, but he is so far up at the top of the track that he needs to really put it in. There's a couple of drivers that haven't been able to put in a lap time purely by putting a wheel off circuit. That goes and invalidates their lap time, such as Werner Skuman. He had an 8 minute 16 on his last lap, but invalidated it, so it didn't count. So Werner Skuman did set a lap, but it got invalidated, so it didn't quite work. So Hatzenbach trying to give it everything he's got. Verveers still out on circuit. Daniel Rowe still out on circuit. Ryan Barrington-Smith still out on circuit. Hard braking, bringing it through, trying to get it all sorted. Bernard Barkhuizen, one of our quicker drivers, now trying to also get a little bit on the gas and pull his way through. Not going to be an easy run for him as he tries to get his way to the line. So much going on in the world right here at RaceFace.Pro. Good to have everyone. It's always exciting to have everyone out here. So if you want to get involved with all the racing, feel free to join up on the world of RaceFace utilizing SimGrid. So please head over to SimGrid. That is where we're having it. And big news that has come out, starting in a couple of weeks' time, we will have the RaceFace GT3, the inaugural GT3 Sprint Series. The Sprint Series, for many people that know, is coming back, but on a different sim. We will be having it out on the world of iRacing, so that's going to be a bit of fun. Daniel Rowe, though, is leading the championship for our GT3 championship on a Thursday tonight's racing. He's leading out on 152 points. Then Bego Krobler, second place on 128 points. Then Mac van der Merwe with 96 points. Andres Serradio in fourth, 77 points. Hatzenbach lying in fifth with 67 points. Daniel de Villiers 66 points. He's lying in sixth. Followed by Darren Miller, Jason Farmer, Quan Duplessis, Werner Skuman, Alan Patterson, Sean Lerero, Jean Leroux, Paul Fenter, Bernard Barkhuizen, Colin Bergstrom, Rian van der Race, Jean Verveers, Mergen van Veen, Tyler Humphreys, Jaco Gutze, Gideon Rayner, Ruben Heineke, Eric Kirstein in 24th, 25th with Jude Neville, Ryan Barrington-Smith in 26th, 27th is SM Domingo, Jan Kleinans running in 28th, 29th, Sanjin Pillay, followed by Keegan Sanderson, SES Days, Nico Zafaris, Modrack Claessens, Viertier Buerta. That's everyone going and running down the order. So much going on, so much to do, and who will be able to push their way to the top of the pack. So let's see who's going to be able to get their way going. Brandon Kruger puts himself into first place. Daniel Rowe was second. Bernard Barkhuizen goes and pips him right at the line. Hatzenbach comes across the line. He will be starting in 13th position. All right, as our drivers are waiting for the timer to go, a couple of cars still out on track. Well, one car still on track, and that is Verveers of Hybrid Racing Adventure, trying to stretch his legs. He's down the back straight, and this is like going on the highway from Johannesburg to Bloemfontein. You can still relax and keep going. Best thing you can do down the straight for many people trying to figure out what they can do is get behind slipstream, wait till the very end. And this is a bit of a weird one. You actually lift slightly behind your competitor, stay behind them the whole way down till you get to right to the end here, sneak past on the inside, push him way to the outside, so the braking zone now changes and tightens up for this little short right-hander, which means they're braking awkwardly into this corner as we see Verveers tries to get it all together. 9 times out of 10, they would be clouting the wall or going extremely slow by the end of it. But as Verveers comes across the line, we will be heading back to of the likes of Nordschleife. What a run. This is going to be exciting. Drivers have been clamoring to race around the circuit. We've had our Nordschleife 24 earlier this year right here at RaceFace.Pro. Now it is time for the RaceFace.Pro Season 18 to make its mark. 90 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes of racing around the circuit, and it's not going to be easy, folks. It's really not going to be easy. Let's head down to the track and start getting ready. Brandon Kruger will be out with the top position. Bernard Barkhuizen in second. Daniel Rowe, Jude Neville, Modrack Claessens lying in fifth. Sixth, Jean Verveers, Gideon Rayner, Jaco Gutze, Jason Farmer, Ryan Barrington-Smith, Alan Patterson, Darren Miller, Connor Bergstrom, Mahias Musa, Rian van der Reist, and then Mac van der Merwe, Sanjan Pillay, Bego Krobler, Daniel de Villiers, Werner Skuman, and Ruan Heineke will have to power their way through. This is going to be a long, long race. This is not a simple sprint race that you can just get up and get to the top. If we take a look at this track map, you've got the GP circuit, which is at the bottom. That will be our start-finish line. They'll come off the old Nordschleife circuit into the new GP circuit through the hairpin. And before you turn right at the end of the GP circuit to go and continue on, or right towards the pits, you will turn left heading onto the Nordschleife. It's banking left. The whole camber changes. The car lightens up underneath you, swings it around, and you've got to try and keep the momentum as you start the Nordschleife 24-hour circuit. Nearly 26 kilometers long, ladies and gentlemen. This track is grueling. This track will test the fundamentals of your driving, and it will also make sure that you have to focus as hard as you can. Mandatory 2 pit stops need to be served. How do they serve those pit stops? Well, they have to go out, cross the line, they have to get into the pits, they have to put 1 liter in the car, then they are able to go racing. They have to park themselves firmly in the box, within the square. If the car gets jacked up, moved, put down, and jacked up again, that pit stop doesn't count. So you have to make sure that you get it absolutely perfect right the way through as our drivers start making their way down the back straight. This is about getting some heat into those brakes, start bleeding, getting a little bit of heat soak in. I wouldn't recommend having moving left to right, right to left. It was, this is the main thing. We got Devin Ellis though. They're saying having any flashbacks. Devin Ellis, one of our drivers that raced in the Nordschleife 24-hour out on iRacing this past weekend. And I think, Devin, if you're available for a quick chat, please come to the interview room. It would be nice to have a chat with you. Same goes to Saki Goes Bossy, who you know the grid quite well. So let's see if we can bring some of the guys from the grandstands to come and have a chat to us, as well as previous drivers, to give us a bit of insights of what they feel about this absolutely monstrous circuit that very few get to finish. And to answer the question, do I have flashbacks? No, because this is in the Toyota 86 and we were driving a Toyota Taz by the end of it. There was no 86 left. We left 90% of our cylinders somewhere out on the circuit.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Green light, and we're racing. Brandon Kruger trying to get off the line quicker than Bernard Barkhuizen, but Bernard going and getting the pass all hooked up. Gets himself into the top. Now late on the brakes into turn 1 as they start darting around. Daniel Rowe stuck on the outside, tried to get all organized, gets the left-hander, pulls himself through, and now into second place. And it does look like Fafia is absolutely missing out one of the corners. Is going side by side with Jude Neville as Kenny the Cones getting wiped out. Jude stuck on the outside, loses out a position, and now he has got Mordred Claessens right onto the back of him. So Mordred Claessens feeling the pressure as Gideon Reyna will be chasing him down on the way through. Drivers trying to battle it out. Jaco Kotze giving a little bit of gas now onto the back of him, but it is all eyes up to the front as Brandon Kruger will need to go and step up onto the back of Daniel Rowe. Bernard Barkhuizen leading out the field will be remembering this part of the track as they battle it out, but soon as we start getting through the chicane, they will get ready to banker for a left. 8 minutes plus around this circuit is the lap time to go for. A couple of the drivers have pulled into the pits. Sanjan Pillay, Ruan Heineke, and Andre Serradio all into the pits. So now it's entry onto the old Nordschleife. Welcome to the green hell. And Bernard Barkhuizen hoping to pull away from Daniel Rowe, who has got Brandon Kruger all over the back of him, hoping that Fafiers will stay right on his tail. Fafiers is going to try and push as hard as he can. Jude Neville giving it absolute horns at this point, trying to stay onto the back. for Fears, and he is getting pushed on harder and harder from the likes of Mordred Claessens, who looks left, looks right, goes for the deep dive on the nose, couldn't get it sorted out. He's watching out for Gideon Rayner, who is constantly pushing pressure on him. Flat out through this section, you want to keep it firmly on the gas. Up over the hill, into a right-hander. Hang on for dear life as you snap around, continuing to hold on the power. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. It's flat out through this left-hander before climbing onto the anchors rather late. And on the brakes, bring it all the way down. Change down to third gear, hook it in. And we've seen many people miss their braking markers here. This time around, though, all our drivers seem to be A-OK on this one. For Fears, though, not A-OK, with Neville now looking up on the inside, looking around the outside. Couldn't quite get past as yet, but is continuing to lay down the pressure. Gideon Rayner, Jaco Kutzer now starting to fall away. Ryan Barrington-Smith pulling ahead. Jason Farmer now dealing with both Alan Patterson and Darren Miller right behind him. So the two PWSRs are onto the back of the Luxury Time Racing Jason Farmer as he fights his way around the circuit. A little bit further back, though, Mac van der Merwe. He's pulling along Werner Skuman. Mordred Claessens a little bit down the order. Mahaith Musa gaining some time. Conor Bergstrom as he makes his way through. Bego Krobler, Rian van der Rest. But unfortunately, Sanjay Pillay, Daniel de Villiers, and Ruan Eineke are still in the pits. Andre Serradio is out on track. So Heineke, de Villiers, and Sanjay Pillay are in the pits. So I don't think they were able to get going. Battle out on track, though, for Fears, dealing with Jude Neville, who looks up on the inside, trying to go a little bit later on the brakes. Couldn't get it all hooked in. Chooses to follow behind, but they're starting to catch up to Brandon Kruger. This is where you're going to start leaning on the car ahead of you. You don't want to go for those big dives and knock you offline. You want to keep a rhythm, follow your way through, not be in too much of a hurry as they try and maneuver their way around the circuit. Jude Neville going to continue the tow, not having too much of a problem there. Gideon Rayner has got Jaco Kutzer putting pressure on him, Ryan Barrington-Smith as well. So there is a big gap between a couple of the drivers. Jaco Kutzer getting it out of shape, though. That kills the drive. And here comes Ryan Barrington-Smith. This is a flat-out section, so he's just going to keep his foot absolutely pinned. Jaco's going to try and walk him off to the fringes. And on this little straight here is where Williams Esports and Team Redline had their moment together in the iRacing Nordschleife 24 this past weekend. That landed up with both cars losing out first and second in the entire 24-hour race. They smashed each other to pieces on that little spot. So just a piece of history there. Moving across the nose is not the greatest of ideas to do, but it does happen as our drivers all running nose to tail. No risky moves being pulled at this point. Into the carousel. Keep it nice and low. You don't want to go above, otherwise you're going to lose too much time. And give it everything you got. As you see, Fears lifting out a little bit early. Jude Neville, though, capitalizing, goes for the pass. And what happened to Mordred Claessens? Dropped off very quickly. Well, Mordred Claessens actually looks like he scored a bit of damage there. Might have missed the braking marker and landed up getting a bit of hurt. So we'll try and see if we can roughly go back to where that incident was. Unfortunately, I can't turn back the time on it as we see him give up the position to Werner Skuman. There is confirmation, though, that Mordred Claessens did have an accident. That was the reason for him to drop down. It looks like that top end damage now starting to come into play. Out in front, though, breaking away from the rest of the field, Bernard Barkhuizen and Daniel Rowe. Breaking away from Brandon Kruger, who's now got the likes of Jude Neville. That is onto the back of him. Jude slowly closing up the distance to our leaders as they make their way through the back of the green hell. And Jude Neville off into the dirt. Brings it back just. But that has killed off the drive and allows for Fears to immediately go on the attack right behind him through one of the flat-out parts of the circuit. You got to get it everything you got. Hard braking into fourth, into third, into the left-hander. This part of the circuit is absolutely crucial because you've got to come out and giving it everything you got, all the power that you've got underneath the car through the second carousel. Otherwise, you are going to lose out. As you come around the top end, this is all flat out onto the main straight. This is all about top end. Who's going to have it? And as we see for our leaders, the slipstream coming into effect. Daniel Rowe actually coming off the gas a little bit. Lines up the inside line. Bernard Barkhuizen's going to try and defend that outside line. Not going to be an easy one there. Come on, it's going to be so close. Daniel gets it hooked in. He will be able to get past this time around, though. Going to take it easy, but now it's about pushing him late into the braking zone. Bernard Barkhuizen's going to be very careful because you're going to have to come down on the anchors pretty swiftly. Get the car turned in, not too much of a problem. And still managing to get ahead. Doesn't want to lose out too much drive, getting it very close to that wall. But Daniel Rowe, not able to get the pass done. Brandon Kruger comes on by. Jude Neville comes on by along with Fafiers chasing him down. Gideon Rayner into the pits. Jaco Hutzer comes across the line. The two PWSR cars will come across the line. So Ryan Barrington-Smith getting chased down by Alan Patterson and Darren Miller. Mordred Claessens is going to keep going. Jason Farmer's into the pits. And it looks like Bego Krobler, he did his pit stop rather early on this one. So Gideon Rayner into the pits. Mac van der Merwe goes, slides out a bit wide. Werner Skuman right up against his door and pushing as hard as he can. We saw Andre Seradio. Was that Seradio? No, that might have been Maith Musa that was going a little bit slow. Saki goes Bossy saying that Mordred Claessens is going to be one to watch out for in the future. Been one of the drivers has been picking up skill as he goes. Definitely one to talk about there. Mr. Fafiers going and having a bit of support from the grandstands. And that's Jonal. Do apologize if I got that wrong, Mrs. Fafiers. As we see Werner Skuman pushing on to the back of Mac van der Merwe. This is one of our closest fights currently out on circuit as they make their way through. Bit sad to see Sancho Pillay, Ruben Heineke, and Daniel de Villiers unfortunately still parked as they seem to be a bit out of the race. Stop go, 30-second penalty for Connor Bergstrom. Oh man, he's going to do that. He's going to have to serve that. Now, to give anyone an indication of, we always talk about a stop go is adding a third stop. Now, imagine a lap out of the pits is going to be 9 minutes. Nine and a half minutes, 10 minutes of letting this thing sit on your mind. Then you're going to stop. You're going to serve your stop go, 30-second penalty. Another 9 minutes plus. Then go around the circuit to then just get your pit stop done and another 9 minutes out. It just absolutely eats into your track time as it goes. It is some of the worst penalties. Those stop goes or drive throughs at the moment on this circuit is lethal, and I cannot stress that enough. It is lethal to have it, because not only do you sit in a race on a track that demands focus left, right and center to get it absolutely perfect, but this is a circuit that will break you in a matter of time. And now you sit with a stop go 30-second penalty constantly. It's like just this red light constantly on there, and the voice inside your head constantly telling you about it while you're battling on a very mental circuit. 172 corners, 25.9 kilometers. I mean, this is like driving from Joburg to Pretoria, but every stop street, every road, you're not taking the highway. This is the back routes the full way through, and our drivers are having to now figure out this entire battle and anyone, and I take my hat off to any driver doing this race right now. It doesn't matter whether you're pro, pro-am, or pro, pro-am, and am. Getting the guts to come and race around this circuit, to push yourself that little bit more, to say, hey, listen, it's a proper race, to get it done. Whether it be 1 lap, whether it be 1 hour, 30 minutes, whether it be 24 hours. To come out of this race means that you have accomplished very few will even attempt. Because this is commitment. To enter this type of race is a commitment. Not only to the race itself, but to the likes of practice. Because this is no track you arrive and drive at. By no means of the word. And I think the likes of the Productive Panda will be able to let us know. He's one of the team captains. Mrs. Fafiers, I'm sure you've had Mr. Fafiers going and driving around this track until he's going blue in the face. Going and saying, no, this is just one of those extremely long tracks that you can get sick and tired of, and the amount of hours that's needed to get it all hooked together. So I'm sure there's quite a few people in the comments that will perfectly agree with that one. Back out in front though, Bernard Barkhuizen, Daniel Rowe, they still chase each other down. Both drivers pushing the boundaries of what they can do. Who's going to be able to claw their way through? A little bit further back, Ryan Barrington-Smith snapping off the toe. As see, Alan Patterson's got some damage to the front of his car, so he's lost out. Jaco Kutzer feeling the pressure from the looks of Darren Miller. So a bit of a change up there. And it looks like Alan Patterson, unfortunately, skated with the walls. Lost out a bit of a drive. And now having to claw his way back. Mordred Claessen's closing down, but it does look like Jaco Kutzer's car has seen some better days as well. That one mistake, that one outbraking moment, that 4 meters too short, unfortunately can lead to a lot of impact down the way, as our drivers having to really claw their way through in this monumental battle. So we'll have to see how it works out. Jaco hoping to stay away from Miller, who's chasing down. Claessen's also making some improvement. Werner Skuman hoping to close up on them. Alan Patterson, who had an accident a little bit earlier back, now trying to stick away from Mac van der Merwe, who did so well at Brands Hatch. Mahath Musa back out on the charge with Jason Farmer going in right behind him. Kilian Rayner out of the carousel. Connor Bergstrom, who will need to serve that stop-go 30-second penalty. Ruan van der Reis and Beggar Krubler, followed by Andre Serradio. Now, do want to take note, Andre Serradio started dead last. Stone cold, absolute last. And he is driving just to keep himself going. He is watching the lap time and racing the clock. So, well done to him on that. Not like our other drivers that are running nose to tails. Jaco Kutzer's got the likes of Mordred Claessen looking up on the inside, looking around the outside. Side by side they go, and a swipe across the nose. Claessen's getting that straight line. Kutzer drops down a position. Here comes Miller though. He is going to close up right onto the back of him. Through the second carousel. Little bit too early exit there. Going to have to keep it a little bit tighter and move it through the gears. You could see it unsettle the car, lightening up that entire steering wheel. Kutzer's going to feel it as they head onto the back straight, because he's going to have no top end compared to the likes of Darren Miller, who is in the slipstream. So he's going to hope that he sticks close enough to the likes of Mordred Claessen's at this point to try and pull himself along. A lot of drivers would be relying on low aero to go and keep this pace going. As we see Jaco right onto the back of Claessen's, sticking close. Not going to get out past on the inside. Look to the outside. Not going to be able to do that as well. It's going to be about 2 years later on the brakes. Hard braking, and all three making a beautiful move through. Miller keeping up onto the back of him. And now looks to get by as Jaco Kutzer gets into the pits. So Jaco Kutzer's into the pits. And he will have to try and slow him down quite quickly. The pit lane entrance is so close. And you're going to have to slow yourself down to 50 kilometers an hour in a matter of split seconds. So not an easy time out there on track as our drivers power their way on. But it's now Mordred Claessen's to Darren Miller that need to keep going. Alan Patterson's into the pits. Werner Schumann's into the pits. So 3 more drivers getting it done and dusted. Remember, we got 2 mandatory pit stops that are needed for this race. And when you're looking at your lap times, I mean, the fastest lap time set was 8 minute 15.8 set by Brandon Kruger, who is out towards the top. And that is your fastest lap time of the race. Our leader has only been able to get an 8 minute 17 as his best lap time. But what I'm not seeing here is Daniel Rowe. He is down the order. So Daniel Rowe, losing out a lot of drive, is lying in 5th place. He was fighting it out at the top. So what happened to Daniel Rowe, our number 43 car? Just going down in our records, see, maybe could see where there was an accident for the gentleman. No accident. And no spin-off that I could see for the number 43. No, there was. He did have an accident. So unfortunately, that threw him down the order. Now he's got Ryan Barrington-Smith all over the back of him. So Daniel Rowe, who was fighting for second, unfortunately, now in 5th place, staring down the barrel of a gun of the likes of Ryan Barrington-Smith of Logistical Nightmare Racing, who is constantly putting a huge amount of pressure on him as they maneuver their way through. Nose to tail racing between the 2 of them. Rowe will have to keep a very wide eye on this one as they're catching up to, that might be Brandon Kruger that they're closing up on. I think it is. It's either... No, it's not Brandon Kruger. So who may that be that's ahead of them? It's not Brandon Kruger. It's not it's Bernard Barkhuizen. I do apologize. So it's Bernard Barkhuizen they've caught up onto the back of. So Daniel Rowe is onto the back of Bernard Barkhuizen. So Brandon Kruger out in 1st place. Jude Neville up into 2nd as our timing screen slowly catches up on this monstrous circuit. Couple of drivers needing to really get themselves going. So short mistakes, unfortunately, coming in and landing up with a problem. Car 97 gets his penalty cleared, and that is Connor Bergstrom. So he's got himself that 30-second penalty gone, done, dusted. And we'll have to concentrate on the race up ahead for the rest of the running. So Connor, as we see, that was Bernard Barkhuizen, gets it twisted around, that's it into the wall, teleports back to pits. That is all she wrote for one of our quickest drivers that are out there. Bernard Barkhuizen just not having his night, unfortunately, and lands up squared into the wall with over rotation of the McLaren. And that was all that was needed to put him out of the race, and an extremely long tow back. The moment you're towing back to the pits, ladies and gentlemen, that is 12 minutes tow time. So if you think about it, the moment you say return to pits, you can expect 12 minutes to get up, go have something to eat, something to drink, go to the bathroom. By the time you got back to the rig, you're still waiting another 3 minutes for it to happen. It's just an absolute nightmare, and I would not be surprised if that signals the end of his race. Hopefully not. Hopefully he's able to get that car back up and going and get back into the race. But as a driver, I think he is extremely frustrated with what's happened. So Ryan Barrington-Smith catching up onto the back of Daniel Rowe. They're going to be smiling for that one. A little bit further back, Mac van der Merwe and Mahaith Musa now coming into play. Mahaith Musa charging down, gets into the slipstream, pulling himself along. Really trying to gain a little bit of time. As Mac doing everything he can to keep it ahead. Mahaith Musa trying to keep right on the back of him. As we jump on board to the splitter. That's a rear wing, and that's a nice shot. But there is the rollback bar cam off the BMW, and we can see exactly how difficult this track is to maneuver. Mac van der Merwe just not having the straight line. The BMW going to go around the outside. And it's an all-out slugfest as they go side by side. Mac's not going to back down, though. But the JMPD just couldn't have the legs over the BMW and hits the wall. That's Mac van der Merwe into the wall. The aero wash throwing him into the wall. Unfortunately, light damage coming to play, and that is going to be a lot of damage to his car. Even Barry Lovett going and saying that he is covering his eyes. He's just can't believe it. So Barry out in our virtual grandstands, going and closing his eyes, going, oh man. Ironland Racing saying, oh no, this is a proper mess. Saki goes boss, he says, seems Mahath Musa is still on some gumberry juice that he has been on for the past few weeks. Yep, no, it's definitely it. For any people that don't quite know, Mahath Musa has been on a proper push of late to improve, getting faster and faster and faster in whatever car he competes in. Alan Patterson out on track, keeping ahead of Jaco Hutzer, who has come out of the pits. He's got that repair work done to his car. So, our top 9 still needing to do their mandatory pit stop. The rest of the field, though, needing to complete their final pit stops, except for Andre Serradio, who needs 2. And it looks like Werner Skuman has called it quits as well. So, Werner Skuman into the pits. And it looks like he is out the Pandacity, leader of the Pandacity, the team captain, going and throwing in the towel for this one. And unfortunately, not ideal circumstances. So he rests all the pressure to Mordrake Larsens and to Connor Bergstrom, saying, guys, it's out on you to represent the name of the Pandacity. Not an easy time out there. He's going to try and possibly, what would be the smarter move, is to then be able to relay information to those drivers, something about lap times, keeping them consistent, keeping that head in the game, especially for such a long race. And I could tell you, for a team captain to throw in the towel, it really can break the morale of the team as well. So it's one thing I highly don't advise for anyone is, you know, you always want to see that checkered flag. You want to see that checkered flag. Doesn't matter whether you're first or last, or if you had an accident or not. If you can get that car out and get going, rather see the checkered flag the proper way instead of just throwing the towel out. No, it's a lot of commitment, a lot of frustration, but ultimately it's better for you. As Brandon Kruger comes across the line, seeing a faster lap time for him is a 8:15.8. Jude Neville an 8:16. His last lap time though was an 8:18. Sean Fafiers is an 8:20 on that last run. Daniel Rowe though up into 4th place. He's going to be happy about that one. Still getting chased down by Ryan Barrington-Smith, who is giving it everything he can to now look at that top 4 spot. As we see the likes of Bernard Barkhuizen has left the service. So Bernard Barkhuizen unfortunately retiring out on that one after the tail of the McLaren snapping out underneath him and landing up in the wall. Gutting blow. And losing a driver off this grid is definitely not something you want to have. Sanjay Pillay hasn't gone out. Ruben Heineke hasn't gone out. Werner Skuman, though, is back out and going. So Werner Skuman has not thrown out the towel just as yet. They convinced him to get back in the car, and he is going to keep his foot on the gas. So well done to you. Well done, buddy. Good to see a bit of effort heading out there. Gideon Rayner out on track as Jason Farmer runs out wide. Gideon Rayner gets a pass done. Jason Farmer will try and pull himself along now for a short little bit of time. Mac van der Merwe into the pits and serving the first of his 2 pit stops, his mandatory pit stops. Started way down the order. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get in that lap time, and now is suffering a little bit for it. So our drivers will have to keep that in mind as the grid's starting to split up more and more right here at the World of RaceFace.Pro for the GT3 Sprint Series. For our GT3, well, this is not a Sprint Series, this is GT3 Championship out on Thursday. 1 hour and 30 minutes of racing, of out and out, door-to-door racing. This time around a circuit that is extremely difficult. And it's good to have you guys here. But we can now start opening a little bit of Pandora's box, because I love doing that. For everyone just joining, a big welcome. So we're going to start opening the Pandora's box just a little bit. You know, that little creak. Just to peer inside of what it may be. Because I'm always a big fan of Curiosity Kills the Cat. And, well, that's the one thing that comes in. Mr. Blitz saying my brake pedal failed. Oh, no, man. That's gutting. So, Mr. Blitz, it would be nice to have a chat to you. Give us a bit of an insight to what happened. And just give us a bit of thoughts there. But that's never a good sign. That's all been on Barclays. But peering into Pandora's box, we are upping our social media a bit more. We have got some YouTube shorts that will be going out. And we're taking moments from races. Doesn't matter in Pro, Pro-Am, Am. As long as we get the replay, the name, the surname, the corner, and so we could see exactly where this moment is and be able to share it out with you guys as well. So a bit on the onus of the drivers currently out on track, and also it would give them a bit of team support on our social media as well, because that's always enjoyable to have and be able to give back to our community that gives so much week in and week out. And then other big news, a major announcement that's come out today is the GT3 Sprint Series is returning on a Tuesday, bi-weekly Tuesday. But this time we'll be out on iRacing. So if you have iRacing, feel free to join up out on a SimGrid. All details will be put out on a SimGrid under RaceFace.Pro. So do take a look at that. The SA Lube and Adenauer Machinery Mart going and putting in a little bit more elbow grease as well into the world of sim racing, wanting to do a bit more, and we will be seeing a bit more from our Adenauer and SA Lube. An interview coming down later next month with it, and we'll also be chatting to a couple of our drivers just to give a bit of insight what happens behind the doors, behind the seats, behind the steering wheels of our drivers as they battle it out week in and week out with some of the toughest competition right here in South Africa. Alan Patterson ahead of Jaco Kutza and now Jason Farmer, as Jason Farmer has dropped back, lost out that position. Has Jaco got enough in the tank to get past him? McLaren looking mighty quick this time around. Looks up on the inside. Jason Farmer around the outside does give him a bit of room, so I think Jason Farmer trying to nurse the car a little bit. Gives him a quick flash saying, well done, good pass. He's going to try and just follow it all the way through as they keep up the momentum. All the drivers hoping to just push themselves out a little bit more. And just even taking a look, Jason Farmer saying sorry to Connor Bergstrom. Thought you were letting me pass, my bad. So Jason Farmer even had enough time to write in Discord a bit of a sorry to Connor Bergstrom of the Pandacity Infiltrate Panda Pounds. So live right now, Connor Bergstrom, Jason Farmer does apologize for the earlier contact out on the track. 58 minutes and 56 seconds to go, and let's take a look after 3 laps of racing. Yeah, we say 3 laps, but do bear in mind it is 25.9 kilometers long per lap, and each car is doing about 8 minutes 17 a lap. Brandon Kruger out in first place with Jude Neville currently in second. Then we got John Verveers in third. Daniel Rowe lying in fourth. Mordre Claassens up into fifth place. Ryan Barrington-Smith currently in sixth place. Seventh is Darren Miller. Mahath Musa up into eighth place. Kilian Rayner down into ninth, followed by Jason Farmer, Alan Patterson, Jaco Hutzer, Bruin van der Race. Andre Serradio is out on track. Mac van der Merwe is into the box. And we've got Bego Krobler in 16th position, who has completed all his pit stops ahead of Connor Bergstrom. who's running in 17th position. And Werner Skuman running out. Our car still going. That looks like a very, very broken Andre Serradio. Is that Andre? No, that might be Mahayath Musa that's actually got all that damage on his car. Yes, it is. It's Mahayath Musa that landed up getting collared into the dirt. So let's go back about a minute and see where that may have occurred. So this is about a minute back. And he already had that damage. Trying to drive it out. It just had no top end. So he is definitely feeling a pain. And let's go on board with the BMW. Steering bent. Oh, badly bent. Sitting at nearly a 90-degree angle. He is nursing this thing into the wall. Just keeping it out. A little bit of a light touch. Down the gears. Constantly toying with the ABS, the traction control, the brake bias, just everything to kind of get the car pointing straight. So not an easy run for him. And will be just eating it up. Unfortunately, damage to the front end. That front suspension has taken a monstrous impact as it stands. But still lying in 8th place. All on the cards, and he's onto the back straight. So he survived it so far. Fafia's managing to get a little bit of a gap. Daniel Rowe feeling the pressure as he's got Mordred Claessen's right on the back of him. And it does look like Mordred Claessen's into the pits. Daniel Rowe will continue to keep on going. So Daniel Rowe is trying to claw his way up through the order. We'll be chasing down Darren Miller, who is still putting a absolutely phenomenal time out there. Trying to keep it all together. And with them currently doing 3 laps, they have done 77.7 kilometers so far of racing. They're on to their 4th lap and giving it all they can. So I'm keeping a very close eye on a couple of drivers. Bego Krobler being one of them, and Connor Bergstrom. They have completed all their mandatory pit stops, getting it out of the way. Everyone else has got 1 to 2 pit stops left that need to be sorted out. Kilian Rayner gets past the likes of Mahayath Musa and Mordred Claessen's. So Kilian Rayner will be happy with that one. So Mahayath Musa and Mordred Claessen's will be the litmus test of how late they're going to go for it and who's going to be able to get themselves a little bit further up the road in this monumental effort right here at the Nordschleife 24-hour circuit in Germany. One of the hardest circuits you can ever race around, or even attempt to race around. 8 minutes 15 is currently our fastest race time. 8 minutes 13 was our fastest qualifying time around this track. And that is no easy feat to do. This is all about trying to stay alive. This is no longer you racing against your competitors. You are racing against the track. Germany is one of Germany's most iconic motorsports iconic venues. Germany's Nürburgring features both the best of both worlds, having a classic old design to it and also the new modern day at the bottom. It demands the best of both car and driver. The modern layout is built for current machinery and even old machinery. We see lots of, like your Ford Escorts go around here. They do have the classics going, showing off what they can do. It's always fun to watch that out on YouTube. Feel free to go and take a look. So it's something to always keep an eye out for. But this is the combined circuit, which only gets put together for the 24 hours, the ADAC series, and also the 24 hours of Nürburgring being the best of it. It's widely considered to be the world's most demanding road course. Nordschleife's twists and turns, rises and falls for the 12.9 miles through the countryside of Germany and in the Eifel Mountains. The ring boasts an elevation which is just a gain and loss of nearly 1,000 feet per lap. So when you're going through, you're going up and down 1,000 feet from the top of the circuit to the bottom of the circuit. You're going to be so careful, and many of the 73 bends that is on the old circuit alone can really push you to your absolute limit. Some of the corners heading up through the mountains. The Hatzenbach, the Adenauer Forst, the Wehrseifen, the Karussell, the Pflanzgarten, and the Schwalbenschwanz are steeped in motorsport lore, not for the best of reasons of why they are so steeped in lore. That is for, unfortunately, major moments that changed the landscape of motorsport and safety within motorsport to an all too new level. This track was made in 1925 to 1927. The Nürburgring originally consists of 2 circuits, the 14.5 Nordschleife and the companion 4.8 Südschleife, which were originally 2 different circuits and occasionally combined, but then were put together and well, it came into what we see now to make this this monster of a circuit. The 17.6 mile Gesamtstrecke, also known as the Nordschleife. However, this was the centerpiece of the facility and hosted the German Grand Prix in Formula 1 and 1,000 sports car races throughout the 1970s. But unfortunately, when major safety renovations were implemented, the whole Nordschleife circuit was dropped off after getting the name the Green Hell from the likes of Niki Lauda. But in 1976, the German Grand Prix saw world champion Niki Lauda nearly perish in a fiery demise, which you can actually go and see. I think it's called Hunt. It's a movie called Hunt. It's worth going and watching. You can actually see that incident and a bit of the times behind it. Niki Lauda actually saying that this circuit was far too dangerous to go and race at, and was one of the loudest voices to say, no, we mustn't race around this track. But getting baited in by his championship rival James Hunt to eventually go around and getting himself burned up to an absolute crisp. He later recovered to become multiple champion, and Niki Lauda going and steeping his name in history. After that incident, though, the German Grand Prix was taken away from the Nordschleife circuit and was moved to Hockenheim, which a lot of people tend to have a lot of fun for, before later moved to the Grand Prix circuit, which we see now today. However, the German Grand Prix returned to the Nürburgring after the Nordschleife start-finish area, and much of the Südschleife were demolished to create the modern circuit, the 3.2 mile Grand Prix Strecke. In 1982 to 1983, it was built. Originally a 12-turn, 4.5 kilometer long circuit. The GP-Strecke was revamped in 2002 with the replacement of the Castrol chicane by the Hudwig Hook right-hander, and subsequently the Omega-shaped Mercedes turn area, which is that left-hander after you come through turn 1. It will be turn 2, turn 3. That would be our Mercedes arena on the normal circuit, not in this layout. It would be where the rest of the circuit just continues to go right, then you go left. We tend to go right, left on this new track. The track signature section is Michael Schumacher S's, which is by turn 9 and 10 on the new circuit. The GP-Strecke was home to the German Grand Prix on the Urine Grand Prix between 1984 and 2006, and subsequently alternated with Hockenheim as site of the German GP until the race was dropped from the F1 calendar. Altogether in 2015, it was thrown out and said, nope, not going to happen. When not combined, the use of the GP-Strecke continues to host the rounds of the German Touring Car Championship, the GT World Challenge, and also the ADAC series, while the Nordschleife is still used for testing club races and is open for the public to go and have a bit of fun. But do note, if you go crashing off, you do actually have to pay for the repair work and also the downtime as well. So bear that in mind if you are looking to have a bit of fun. Highly recommend it if you do have the opportunity to go around. Daniel Rowe, though, having a bit of time. Looks like he has gotten past. That might be not Mordre Claessen's. Is that Werner Skuman that may have been on the back of him? No, that is Werner Skuman. So that's Werner Skuman. Lost out a lap to Daniel Rowe. So Daniel Rowe trying to keep on the gas. Will not pit this time round as they make their way around the track. So let's see how it's going to go for them all. Mac van der Merwe back into the pits. Werner Skuman trying to take a bit of a cheeky dive on Daniel Rowe, feeling he's a little bit quicker than Daniel. Even though he's just been lapped, and Daniel Rowe sitting with a monumental amount of damage to the front end of that Lamborghini. And he's now trying to nurse the car back home. He's just trying to keep it going. 46 minutes to go. Let's run through the running order of the race. It is Brandon Kruger out in front. Jude Neville in second place. Jean Faffier is currently in third. Ryan Barrington-Smith out in fourth place. Darren Miller in fifth, along with Daniel Rowe. Gideon Rayner then trying to chase him down. Alan Patterson, Jaco Kutzer now into the pit, so he will be losing out a position to the likes of Ruan van der Race. The GSR 24 now making up a bit of time as he's stressing out with Mordre Claessen's right onto the back of him. Maeth Musa still in with a bit of a shout as he ran out a little bit wide there. Jason Farmer in 13th position. Andres Serradio, Conor Bergstrom, Bego Krobler down at the back of the field. He has completed all these pit stops. And then we have got Werner Skuman, who's going door to door with Daniel Rowe. These two having a good go at one another. Werner Skuman feeling he is a bit quicker than Daniel Rowe, flashing his lights and saying, hey buddy, listen, let's do a bit of a swap around here. Daniel Rowe saying, listen, you blue flagged. I don't give two hoots about you right now. I'm going to keep going. So, bit of an interesting time here for both drivers. And it does bring up a very, very interesting conversation, which I wish to ask to everyone out there in the grandstands while we watch this little on-track battle, not for position. But do you think it is the right... Well, do you think that Werner Skuman should be let by, considering he is a fixed car that's seemingly running a little bit quicker? Last lap time he did was at 8 minutes 16, where Daniel Rowe did at 8 minute 40, where he landed up in the wall, damaging his car. And Werner pushing harder and harder to try and get past. So, do you think Daniel Rowe should give him the position? Give him that track, on-track space? Or do you think he can continue fighting? As he looks to do so. Sticks it on the outside. Daniel Rowe locking on the inside. Side by side they go. Oh, man. Daniel Rowe's not backing out from the fight, though. He's going to keep going on the gas, side by side. Werner Skuman getting pushed to the fringes. Oh, both of them off. Daniel Rowe into the wall. Werner Skuman into the wall. That's what I was fearing. That is exactly what I was fearing. Oh, man. Mr. X saying, evening, everyone watching this evening. Sit back, relax, enjoy the race. Yeah. But I think Werner Skuman is parked off and may have just jumped over the barrier and left his car out on the track. And it's on a bit of a blind. Everyone's going to come over and see that yellow flag, and it's... oh, man. If anyone for Pandacity is watching, please, please, please ask your driver to either drive the car back or tow the car back to pits. Leaving it there is dangerous for the rest of the circuit. Oh, man, that's gutting. That's what I was worrying about. Daniel Rowe, who had damage on the front of his car, was fighting it out with someone trying to unlap himself, which landed up with both of them into the wall. Werner Skuman's able to tow that car back. Big thank you I know it's a bit frustrating, but sitting out on the track does throw a yellow flag, and as a driver coming around, yellow flags, you're far too cautious and you can land in an even worse accident. Oh man, that is gutting. That is solidly gutting for Werner Skuman and both Daniel Rowe. Daniel's going to be driving around with quite a bit of damage on that car. Let's take a look at what that steering looks like. Oh, nearly at a 45-degree angle. He is hurting. That is a long drive. 42 minutes to go in this race. And we have been seeing more and more of unfortunate drop-offs. Mac van der Merwe, Ruben Heineke currently in the pits, along with Werner Skuman. It looks like they've retired. 21 drivers started this race, and it looks like ongoing. We've got 16 cars still going. And yellow flags being kicked up a little bit. No, it might have been for Fears going and losing the rear, but touching the grass. And our team going in, putting in the yellow flags. Everyone seems to be quite split open right now. Brandon Kruger leading out the charge though for the KSR Omnis gaming team. Omnis is a esports team that doesn't only compete in the world of sim racing. They do quite a few other different esports for right around the world, and compete in quite a bit of like first-person shooters and your Dota, League of Legends, that type of stuff. Sponsored by Switch and AOC, if I remember correctly. Yes, AOC. I actually use the AOC monitors, they're quite good. And also sponsored by Switch to try and keep them pumped up and going. Logistical Nightmare out on the circuit. They've just completed leg 1 of their MSA GT3 championship, which is always great to see. And now really giving themselves everything they can around the track. Jude Neville, one of their quicker drivers from Logistical Nightmare Racing, showing off what he's able to do out there. Missing out on a fellow driver, Paul Fenter, who's not doing it. And Logistical Nightmare Racing, I do believe, has got a car entered for the Majors 24-hour coming up later this year. So good. On behalf of RaceFace.Pro, good luck to you guys for that Majors 24. As Jean Verveers of Hybrid Racing Adventure is now at the top of the charts. Usually we see him behind the likes of Bago, Krobler, and the likes of Daniel Rowe, but this time he's got his place in the sun, standing at the top of the charts, running in 3rd place, doing a phenomenal job out there as he makes his way around the track. Ryan Barrington-Smith currently lying in 4th place, stomping on the gas, trying to pull his way through. Time ticking over there, 39 minutes to go. And our top 6 yet to do their 2 mandatory pit stops. Killian Rayner, Alan Patterson, Mordred Claessens need to do their final pit stops along with Mahias Musa. Saying that, Verveers immediately pulls into the pits. He says, oh, going to keep going there. That's going to give the position to Ryan Barrington-Smith unless he has the same idea. Yes, he does. So Ryan pulls into the pits and getting that out of the way. So that will drop him down as Darren Miller comes past the line. He moves himself into 4th place. Daniel Rowe still on the back end of the track, lifting, and now it's down the main straight where he can just take a bit of a breath, reconsider everything that's gone on, try and figure out what's going to work for him. But Killian Rayner, though, will be looking to try and close down the gap. At the moment, he is 14 seconds behind Daniel Rowe. No, he's not. So Daniel Rowe, Killian Rayner is ahead of Daniel Rowe. Do apologize. So Daniel Rowe will be watching Alan Patterson. No, Alan's ahead of him as well. So Daniel Rowe is properly down. Mordred Claessens will be eyeing down the likes of Daniel Rowe. So Mordred Claessens has an opportunity to get a pass on Daniel Rowe, because if Daniel gets into the pits, oh man, I think he's just knocked the wall again. Very slow through the gears. We'll go back roughly 30 seconds. Yeah, he pulls into the pits. Let's see, coming off that back straight. Looks like he may have just caught the wall under braking once again. Accelerating, down the gears, on the grass, over the curb. Oh, there she rides. Bah! In the wall. Absolute pain on a whole new level. That is pain on a whole new level, unfortunately. And it was just touching the grass, putting it into the wall. Mordred Claassen, so, will be rather happy. He gains a position. And moving up through the order, Daniel Rowe loses out on another position once again. Jaco Hutze will be gaining a position. Mahath Musa, if he can just get a little bit more of the gas, will be gaining a position as well. So unfortunately, drivers feeling the effects of the Nordschleife 24-hour track. This has not been an easy circuit for any of our drivers. This is our pros, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a pro-ams that are running at the moment, and our AM drivers still fighting it out. So we are looking forward to seeing what they can do up and down through the order for the RaceFace.Pro GT3 Championship. A big shout out to our sponsors, SA Lube and Adenauer Machinery Mart. And for anyone that's interested in their products for Adenauer Machinery, go and take a look. If you need anything for home, business, any for like your garage or business, if you need grinders, digs, generators, anything, head over to Adenauer Machinery Mart with some of the best prices in South Africa, hands down, and some of the best customer service you'll ever experience in your life. That I can assure you. And SA Lube, big shout out to them as well. 20 years in the business of being the major distributor of Castrol here in South Africa, and putting all the trust into ensuring keeping all machinery that needs any lubricants. Go to SA Lube for some phenomenal pricing and also some phenomenal products. And they can also advise you, because a lot of people don't actually quite know. We always keep an eye on our cars, like these beautiful GT3s that we have out on circuit. We'll be using a different type of oil that will be in the cars, because you want something to be able to handle high intensity, high revving, and extremely hot cars. Also, Zalaika for fears though, runs out of brakes, having the car twist on him. It requires special brakes and special lubricants to keep it going, and also for like your older cars and old bikes that are, you know, like your Golfs and your Datsuns, and well, the older Datsuns, not sure where Datsun goes, but your higher mileage cars will also need special lubricants of their own. So the more you know, keep those engines keep running as we carry on going. 34 minutes to go though, and Brandon Kruger out in at the top of the charts. Stuart Nettle in second place, Darren Miller in third, Gideon Rayner running in fourth place. Then we have got the likes of Sean Verveers, Alan Patterson, Ryan Barrington Smith, followed by Mordred Claassen's Jaco Hutze up into ninth position, leading out first of everyone that's done their pit stops. So keep an eye out in Hutze here. The Team Tryhard Bandits may be onto something that will spin him up through the order. Daniel Rowe is now in 10th position after a bit of repair work, and to give you an idea, 9 minutes and 33 seconds was the time from getting around the circuit to eventually getting it back across getting across the line. Mahath Musa actually will jump ahead of Daniel Rowe, so Mahath Musa is into 10th. I think maybe Jason Farmer as well. Let's see where Daniel Rowe is on circuit. Yeah, Jason Farmer may actually be ahead of Daniel Rowe. Yes, he is. So Jason Farmer making his way through. Rian van der Race lying in 12th position as it stands as he comes through the sector. And let's see, will Andre Serradio be the next one? No, he will not. So it'll be definitely Daniel Rowe in 13th, Andre Serradio in 14th, Conor Bergstrom, Bago Krobler, Werner Skuman is in the pits, Mac van der Merwe is in the pits, Ruan Heineke is in the pits. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple of retirements. 21 cars started this race, 16 are still out and going. And some of the fastest drivers, unfortunately, running into some big problems. But time ticking on. And when do you jump in the box? Now, we always say roughly the halfway, the 45-minute mark. That's when you're going to climb into the box. Well, 45 minutes is a long time out on this track. You've got to plan your pit stop about an hour ago to get it all sorted. A lot of drivers actually opting to get their pit stops done and dusted. Like Jaco Kutzer, Jason Farmer, Rian van der Race, Conor Bergstrom, and Bego Krobler getting their pit stops done out the way and carry on racing. Where Brandon Kruger, Jude Neville, and Darren Miller, who are running first, second, and third at the moment, they've got some impressive gaps over the rest of the field. They will still need to get in the box. They will still need to complete that pit stop twice. And how do you do that? You stop, you put 1 liter of fuel in, and you get going. Do you change tires? Do you double stint tires? Well, if you're going tank to tank, I would highly recommend it. They've done 6 laps for Brandon Kruger out on these set of tires, so he will be changing his tires when he gets into the box. And this time chooses not to go into the box, so he's going to continue going. Will Jude Neville go and take up that offer of going into the pit box? Yes, he does. So Jude Neville's into the pit box. Darren Miller just coming on to the long straight, giving it everything he's got to try and make up some time. Pedal to the metal, the fastest you're ever going to go, until you get a little bit of an uphill, knocks off about 3 kilometers. Down the hill you go, like a roller coaster, all the way through, and then you start gearing down. Down into third, down into second. Short shift up into third. And away you go. And Miller's going to keep on going as well, hoping to get the jump on Jude Neville. That may work out in the long run, but we're going to have to find out. Killian Rayner, though, next to come across the line. Will he get ahead of Jude Neville? I don't think so. I think he's a little bit too far back to deal with it. But he's going to be concentrating on his race because Jaco Kutz is in 9th. Jaco, Rian van der Race, Jason Farmer, Conor Bergstrom, Bego Krobler do not have to pit. They can keep going for the rest of the race, of the last 30 minutes of this race. As you see, Gideon Rayner is also going to keep on by. Jude Neville back out on track. Mac van der Merwe is back on track. Mac is back and ready to attack. We're back up to 17 cars. Go, Mac, go. That's all I can say. Go, Mac, go. Oh, man, I really hope he gets this all sorted out and gets it going. He's still got those 2 mandatory stops to get in. But at this point, it is so good to see him going. Werner Skuman, unfortunately, retiring out of the race. So he is out of the running for the Pandacity team. Relying all his trust out to the rest of his team. So as it stands with Mac Attack, trying to keep going over the dirt. Oh man, he completely missed that chicane. Mac missing the chicane by so far, and he got caught out. Brandon Kruger, though, doing a absolutely sterling job as he makes his way around the track, trying to close up on all the drivers ahead, seeing what's going to work out for him, who's going to be able to get themselves towards the top. Brandon Kruger leads it out. Jude Neville will be falling down as he has been overtaken by Miller. So our timing tower will update. Miller is actually in 2nd place. Gideon Rayner, I think, is lying in 3rd as he's got Mac Attack ahead of him. Jude Neville. I think Jude Neville actually got ahead of Gideon Rayner. Yes. May have actually gotten ahead of him on the exit. 28 minutes to go around this extremely long circuit that is just sucker punching our drivers. Verveers is into the pits. So Sean Verveers is into the pits, and I think it's go back 30 seconds. Yeah, he's been there stationary for quite some time. So it may have been a bit of a tow back to get him there. Gideon Rayner going after Mac van der Merwe. This is still our replay. As Mac just going down the gears, allows him by. Wanted to show off a bit of well done to Mac van der Merwe for that one. Going and allowing the drivers to get by without too much of an issue. Take my hats off to anyone that does that, where you know your race is a little bit caught out, you still want to get out, you want to see that checkered flag. And I say it yet again to everyone out there in the world of RaceFace.Pro, to all the spectators, to all the drivers, to all the newbies, to the pros. If you're just getting into the world of sim racing, if you're wanting to get into the world of sim racing, do yourself a favor. No matter the sim, whether it's Gran Turismo, whether it's Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, Automobilista, Assetto Corsa Evo that's coming out later this year. No matter the race, endurance or sprint race, no matter how long the race has been, no matter how big the impact was, if you can get that car up and going and get it across the line, you see that checkered flag through and through, that is a confidence boost by yourself, because you never quit. Even in the signs of adversity, where you have been told, just give up, you still put your car out there and you still cross the line. You're not a quitter. Not at all. You may be cross, you may be wanting to throw your toys, you may be going and destroying a pizza, or putting ice in a milkshake, destroying that milkshake. My words to everyone is, get in, see the race through, get it to the end. That moment you don't, that moment you quit, will be the same moment and the same excuse you use going forward. You'll use that same one of, I did it last time, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. And it keeps coming back. It will knock you down harder and harder every single step of the way. So I take my hat off to, like, Mac van der Merwe. He's out there. He's 4 laps down on the rest of the grid. I mean, this is a driver that... Oh, in the wall. Oh, in the wall again. Come on, Mac. Come on, Mac. Toes its pits. I think that might be him out. That was this big smack. A smack for Mac. Smacking Mac. Unfortunately, don't quit, Mac. Mac, just don't quit. Get yourself back out on the track there. That's the thing. If you miss out on it once, you're gonna use the excuse over and over and over, and it's just not gonna help you. As you see the likes of there's Ryan Barrington-Smith, Mordred Claessens. Here's our first place. Brandon Kruger out in first place onto the back straight. Darren Miller going and giving everything he's got. Jude Neville in third. Killian Rayner lying in fourth place at the moment. Alan Patterson out in fifth. Ryan Barrington-Smith in sixth. Mordred Claessens in seventh. Jaco Kutzer, who seems to be out. So Jaco Kutzer may be out of the running here, because I don't see him. So there's Mahath Musa. There's Rian van der Race, Daniel Rowe, Jean Verfiers, Andre Seradio, Connor Bergstrom, Bego Krobler. Now Bego's looking a little bit second hand out there. Jason Farmer making his way through. I think I can't get to Jaco Kutzer. I can't see where he is on circuit as well. So I think he may have just disconnected. Please say it's not so, for Jaco Kutzer's sake. He was doing so well. Brandon Kruger now into the pits. Will Miller retaliates, doing exactly the same thing as he makes his way by. Our drivers really trying to improve, get themselves going. But to everyone out there in the virtual grandstands, glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the RaceFace.Pro GT3 Championship. This is our Pro division that's racing tonight. We do have a Pro and Pro-Am. That is, we've got a Pro-Am and Am that's racing simultaneously on a separate servers. And you guys are more than welcome to join up with it. This is round 4 of our 8-round championship. So please, if you are interested in running and racing, head over to simgrid.pro and sign up with RaceFace.Pro. Lots of events happening. Join us out on the Discord as well, down in the description. And also keep up to date with all the amazing racing out on track. We do have our pit wall up, our pit link that you can go and be a part of and follow your drivers' quickest lap times. And it looks like even pit wall is not liking the Nordschleife being one of those circuits. It's a little bit on the longer side for it, so we do apologize for everyone that tried using pit wall. As you see, Darren Miller still going to keep going. Brandon Kruger out on track, getting one stop done. Darren Miller, one stop to go. Jude Neville, Gideon Rayner, so they're all on the same mark here. Alan Patterson is going to keep himself going. Ryan Barrington-Smith going to keep himself going. Mordred Larsens, is he going to get into the box? Yes, he is. Mordred Larsens now into the box, 7th position. We'll be keeping an eye out behind him. And I think that will be on the cars getting by. Just trying to see. Might be Jaco Kutzer. It's just unable to click across to Jaco Kutzer. But I do see him still on the timing screen. So Mordred Larsens will lose out a position at this point. So it looks like we may have lost timing to Jaco Kutzer. So for some odd reason, we have lost connection to Jaco's car. But he is still out there, showing he's in 8th position. Matthias Musa in 9th. And Rian van der Race will be in 10th position as it stands. As Mordred Larsens exits the pits. Now trying to gain a little bit of time. Hear a car. Don't see a car. It does look like Jaco Kutzer is still in the mix there. We just lost connection to the cameras to him, unfortunately. Which is a bit of a bummer, but he is doing rather well. Matthias Musa pulling into the pits, getting himself sorted. So a couple of drivers getting their times done and dusted. But 19 minutes to go. Brandon Kruger, Darren Miller, Jude Neville, Gideon Rayner, Alan Patterson, Ryan Barrington-Smith, and the likes of Daniel Rowe, Andre Serradio, all needing to get their pit stops done and dusted. Daniel Rowe getting the fastest lap time of the race, though, as he comes across the line at 18:08, 8 minute 15.3. As he maneuvers his way around for the Hybrid Racing Pro 1 Lamborghini. Just out of the top 10. Hoping to get into that top 10 after having a bit of a rough race so far. Rian van der Race of the GSR 24. The GSR team doing everything they can to keep the power on and keep traveling. Monumental efforts being done by our drivers as they look to try and open it up. Matthias Musa trying to gain a little bit of time as he makes his way on the Strecke track. Claessens continuing to drive. And yeah, there we go. Confirmation. Jaco Kutzer down the order. That is a disconnect. So unfortunately, he was around, and gone. So Jaco Kutzer has unfortunately disconnected out of the server and is out of the race, leaving us down to 15 cars still circulating. 21 started this race. 15 still trying to battle it out around the green hell right here of Nordschleife. And we get it back. Jaco Kutze is back on track. So timing did bring him back. So it seems like he's having a bit of internet connectivity problems that's bouncing him in and out of existence. We still cannot get physical eyes onto him, as our PWSR cars, Darren Miller and Alan Patterson, running nose to tail on one another. Thriller Miller going against one of the fastest commentators out on track for Assetto Corsa Competizione here in South Africa. Alan Patterson, team principal, going and leading on, telling Thriller Miller to keep on going. So Darren Miller will just keep the momentum going. They are going to play a little bit of cat and mouse with one another. Keeps the brain engaged the whole way through, which is always a good sign, and always what you want to do. You want to try and race with someone. Being a bit by yourself, cruising around, does leave your mind to wander and start guessing and losing track of everything that goes on, and unfortunately can land up with your car into the wall as we watch him come by. Alan Patterson pushing Miller, hoping that they can keep going, but they're starting to lose a bit of time, because I did hear a car closing down the gap, and that is Ryan Barrington-Smith. And it is Ryan Barrington-Smith, now 0.9 of a second behind them. So while those two have been keeping it all together, Ryan Barrington-Smith has slowly been chipping away at their little run, hoping to stand a little bit further up in the order as they make their way around the track. So always good to see the chase is on. The little Porsche going and being at the top of the charts. One of the only two Porsches that's still circulating at the moment. Bego Krubler being the other of the Porsches that is still out on track. The top is all Ferrari, being the easiest of the cars out on the Assetto Corsa Competizione server. Everyone's saying the Ferrari is just easier to drive despite the BOP. Daniel Rowe now up into 9th position. Got the fastest lap time of the race. Still need to do one more pit stop. That will drop him behind Mahath Musa at this point. He's got to open up that gap against Mahath Musa as fast as he can, as this big burly BMW is on a proper charge. Andres Herradio also needing to do one more pit stop, and will be losing out to the likes of Jaco Kutze, Conor Bergstrom, who is in the pits. So Conor Bergstrom is into the pits. Jaco Kutze is out and going. There he is. We finally got eyes on him. He's down in 12th position and still giving it everything he's got. Well done, Jaco. Good to see it. And Bego Krobler pulling into the pits with some major brakes on this car. It just has been a race to forget for a lot of these drivers. Fortunately, Bego wishing that it was also a proper night to forget as he pulls into the box. Brandon Kruger, though, 9 laps in, still needing to do one more pit stop. Needs to start considering about that splash and dash. Jude Neville, though, let's see if he's going to go for the undercuts. He's got 12 seconds between himself and Killian Rayner. Sorry, Killian Rayner actually was ahead of him and has pulled into the pits. Jude Neville, though, he's got a bit of damage on the front end of his car and has got the PWSR team onto the back of him, so he's going to pull into the pits. So where did you get that damage from? Let's go back about a 1 minute 30 and see. No, he had the damage well before then. So Jude Neville has just been bleeding off time. I mean, this is 1 minute 20 seconds back in the race. Driving with that damage onto the dirt, just understeering all over the show. Here comes Gideon Rayner, who says, oh, thank you, I'll take that spot with absolute pleasure. Closes up to go for the pass. And Jude Neville letting him by, nearly losing the tail end of the car. Having to try and pull it back and get going up through the carousel and just running it on the barriers a little bit. Bouncing the car around. Oh, there's it into the wall. Second of our carousels, unfortunately. Being an absolute brain killer. Especially when you've got a car like this. It just wants to understeer, wants to throw itself off the track and land into the weeds. And you can see even correcting down the back straight. Try and keep it as straight as possible. Not an easy thing to do. Little turn, little turn, little turn the whole way. And there is the site of his damage. You can see constantly fighting left and right to get it going. Fifth gear, 237 kilometers now, 238. Oh, just doesn't want to turn. Wheels all over the show. This is where we saw Daniel Rowe get it wrong over the curbs and into the wall. Jude Neville, on the other hand, not having that same problem. Then safely brings it back to the pits to have PWSR immediately onto the back of him. So he will be in the pits getting that sorted out. And a stop-go 30-second penalty after completing all his stops. Gideon Rayner, with second place on the cards, has got a stop-go 30-second penalty. Will have to get that car back into the pits. With 11 minutes to go, he's going to have to pit on this lap. He's going to have to put on this lap, and this is going to hurt his running. Oh, man. Absolutely gutting. We saw Conor Bergstrom with that same penalty a little bit earlier in the race, and thankfully he was able to get it sorted out. Gideon Rayner now landing up into the weeds. Jude Neville out on track. Ryan Barrington-Smith making his way around. Still needs to pit as well. So Ryan Barrington-Smith needs to pit. We saw Darren Miller and Alan Patterson. They pitted together. Alan Patterson ahead of Darren Miller. So a bit of a change up for position there. Mordred Claessen's still out on circuit. Running in 7th position. Björn van der Race in 8th. Followed by Daniel Rowe in 9th. Still needing to do one more pit stop behind Musa and Andre Serradio coming by. Serradio needing to do one more pit stop, and he's just going to keep it going. He's going to try pit as late into the race as possible. That's not going to help out. It's not going to work in his favor at this point. So Brandon Kruger will be trying to keep his pace going. Ryan Barrington-Smith in 2nd place. Still need to do one more stop. Gideon Rayner will have to do one more stop as well. And that is going to play into the hands of Alan Patterson. Unfortunately, going to throw them down the order. Questions being asked of when is the Spa race? Out on the virtual grandstands, the Spa race. Are you? Oh boy, that's Gideon Rayner into the wall. Gideon Rayner into the wall, and now trying to bring that car back. Not having an easy fight there, and is monumental damage. Gideon Rayner is now dragging the car back. That has just ended his race. Good and proper. Well, our upcoming races for the GT3 Championship Season 18. Next round, we'll head out to Circuit of the Americas for round 5. Round 6 will be Bathurst. Round 7 is Indianapolis, followed by round 8 being Spa. Gideon Rayner in the wall. Say it's not so, but it is. Gideon Rayner retiring the car. He had 3rd place all on the cards, and it's all been snatched out. But that means Alan Patterson has an opportunity to put himself on the top spots for the pros Alan Patterson will be able to get third in Pro if he keeps it all together in the remaining parts of this race. This is going to be a fight and a half. Oh man, it's going out there. Real bad luck for Gideon from Exotic. Just going in, you know, leaning into it. And I'm guessing it's like you're looking for the Spa-Francorchamps 24-hour that we're going to be having later this year. Dates are to be confirmed. You have to keep an eye on social media on that one. Dates to be confirmed. It would be we've done our round 1, which was in the Nordschleife 24. Round 2 will be the Monza 8 hours. Date to be confirmed. Round 3 will be a Bathurst 12-hour. Date to be confirmed. Round 4, Spa-Francorchamps 24-hour. Date to be confirmed. Upcoming this weekend, though, we do have our mini Enduro series out on iRacing. That will be going out and doing a bit of a race. A bit of a 1 hour 20. Oh, Alan nearly getting it. All types are wrong there. Nearly into the wall. This weekend on Sunday will be starting at 7:30. And I'll be at Monza for round 4. So keep an eye on that on iRacing. And then next week we will have our final round of the RaceFace.Pro, will be the SA Lube F4 Championship. A final round, see who will be crowned of who's champion, who's not. Sakigo Bossy saying, wow, GG to PWSR, guys. Well, don't say that, Yako. That's Yako Krobler, who is busy chatting Sakigo's Bossy. Last time you said GG's, I remember quite, you know, in the point. There was a Toyota 86 that was smack bang in the wall, done, dusted, and dead. Leader is on the final lap, as we've been told. Sean for Fears going and jumping in to the virtual grandstand, saying, unfortunately disconnected. Oh no, for Fears out of the race. He was doing so well. Is in no way you can get that car back in. Just to see the checkered. Jean for Fears. I am willing you. Oh no, Rian Thunder raced into the wall. Hooked the curb. Into the wall he goes. Thunder Race has got it squashed up. Oh man, what happened? Okay, so he had Jude Neville right behind him and Daniel Rowe, who was trying to defend through the carousel, all keeping nice and close, goes over the top, trying to avoid Jude Neville. Jude goes off circuit, comes back, Rian tries to move over. Oh no, the slightest of clips from Jude Neville put him in the wall. That was it. Jude Neville giving us slightest of touches on the left rear of Rian van der Race, who's now cost him 2 positions. And now has to just try keep going. Brandon Kruger trying to get it all done. He has got no one to fight with except the track. He's got to keep this clean if he wishes to take home the win for the 87 car. The KSR OG has got it all. Ryan Barrington-Smith heading out onto the track. Will it be enough though? Because here comes the PWSR cars. Alan Patterson lost our position to Darren Miller. He's got a bit of damage on him. So Alan has got damage on his car. As Miller, currently in 3rd place, will be snatching it from the jaws of defeat. And one of our luxury time racing cars getting past. I think that is Jason Farmer, who's going to go side by side with him. Jason Farmer, who's actually a lapped car, trying to unlap himself. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look at this. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so proud. Jean for Fears, buddy. Go, 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 go. If I can have everyone out there in the virtual grandstands to just go and cheer on for a driver who's not throwing in the towel. He got disconnected. He got back in the car and is going to see it through to the end. Jean for Fears is out on track. So I want to see all the support shouting down from the absolute heavens for Mr. Fafiers, who's he got DC'd, he got disconnected, but he is back in to see the end no matter what. Daniel Rowe pulls into the pits after trying to fight it with Jude Neville, so he will be losing out that position. Mahath Musa will gain a position at this point if he can keep it all together, and Seradio will pull into the pits. Oh man, I'm so happy. I am so happy to see drivers still getting in there no matter what. Oh no, we got a car into the wall. That unfortunately is Rian van der Race. Oh no, he's into the wall again. Come on, Rian. Turn that car around. Turn that car around. Get it back and going, buddy. Just get the repair work done and get that car back out on track. Come on, Van der Race. Pit lane is right there. Get it fixed. Get it out. You got 2 minutes of the race. Our leader, Brandon Kruger, on a phenomenal charge. Ryan Barrington-Smith currently in second place. Darren Miller has got ahead. Jason Farmer now looking to try and get past him. Jason Farmer is going to look to the outside. Alan Patterson, who had third place in his reach, now losing out a bit of time. And now it's down to the likes of Darren Miller to hold on to that third place. Jason Farmer is a lap down, going and pushing it. Saki goes bossy, going and giving the flames to Jean Fafiers. Oh, I just love to see it, Yaku. That's one of my things I keep telling everyone. And I repeat it over and over and over, and it's like a broken record. But go see the checkered flag. Go see it to the end. Especially in a race like this. And I want to see the likes of Rian van der Race to get back out there. As we see our drivers fighting it out. Ryan Barrington-Smith losing out a bit of time here as Miller is now 3 seconds to the back of him. Brandon Kruger has an opportunity to win the race. Ryan Barrington-Smith has an opportunity to lose second place as Miller has closed up quite a bit. Jason Farmer's going to hunt for the inside. No, don't do it. Don't do it, Jason. The Luxury Time Racing car tried to gain a bit of time. He's pushing for a pass, but he... Don't do it, Jason. Give him a bit of room. Follow him through. Ryan Barrington-Smith is so close within reach for the likes of De Villiers. We saw him just come into camera shot. As this is going to be a race down to the wire for them. And Brandon Kruger now looking to come across the line. 14 cars will finish this race. Fafiers going and giving it everything he's got. Rian van der Race back out on track. Good for you. Good one. Go, Rian. Go, buddy. Go. Oh, man. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see these close actions, but I also... My heart goes to those drivers that are pushing through some of the hardest conditions where your brain is telling you no, but your heart is still in it. Jason Farmer on the dirt. Oh, Jason, just give it. No. Flashing his light, saying, give me the room. Pull me along here. As they're fighting their way around. Oh, this is going to be a little bit close. Jason Farmer trying to get past, but... No, Jason's going to try and look for the inside. Oh, very close to the wall, both cars. Darren Miller losing out a bit of time. Jason Farmer does pull to the right to try and get past. He launches it past. So Darren Miller now gives up that on track spot to the likes of Jason Farmer to try and pull him along to get a little bit closer to Ryan Barrington-Smith, because now they're 5 seconds. Alan Patterson still out there trying to make some time. He's got some serious damage to his nose. And we'll have Mordre Claessens closing up on him to battle it out. as our leader can smell end at sight. He can see the lights ablaze. Ladies and gentlemen, from KSR and OG, Brandon Kruger down the back straight. He's just got to take it easy through the brake markers. He's fought it out through the adversity. What a run. What an absolute run. As he makes his way through. It looks like Jude Neville, unfortunately, out of the race as well. So this is going to be a bit of one. Brandon Kruger will be taking the win. Ryan Barrington-Smith trying to get away. Alan Patterson has got a problem. Bernard, the likes of Mordre Claessens has now gotten onto the back of him. Alan's off into the dirt. This is all going south for Patterson. Down the hill, down the roller coaster. And Brandon Kruger, we have got confirmation, has taken the checkered flag. Brandon Kruger takes the win. Down the gears. Ryan Barrington-Smith trying to keep ahead. But Alan Patterson defending against Mordre Claessens. Mordre has an opportunity here. Looking left, looking right. His team captain was unable to finish this race. Werner Skuman could not do it. Can the junior academy driver get it hooked in? Dives up on the inside. Patterson's off into the dirt through the carousel. And I think Patterson just gave that little bit of room. Felt the pressure there and has decided not to hang in with the fight. So he loses out that on-track position. But lots of smiling. Ryan Barrington-Smith will be finishing ahead. I think it's too far, too done for Thriller Miller. So Darren Miller will have to be finished in the likes of third place. Brandon Kruger takes first place. 11 laps completed around this track. And what a run for him. He has completed 284.9 kilometers of racing. Ryan Barrington-Smith will be taking second place. And here comes Darren Miller. A hard-fought fight. Comes across the line. And Mordre Claessens as well. Mordre Claessens was actually close to Darren Miller right at the end. So, wow. What a run there. Darren Miller nearly lost out to Mordre Claessens. Mordre nearly had a third place. Alan Patterson finishing up in fifth place. Mayath Musa currently going around. He is in sixth. Daniel Rowe chasing. Daniel's off! Daniel off into the weeds. He's able to bring it back. This is still an ongoing race. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are still racing. Bego Krobler will be coming across the line. Verfiers gets across the line. 13 cars finishing. 21 started this race. Well done, Verfiers. Great time out there. Good to see that you got it out. Rian van der Raced as well. Getting a win. Coming across the line. So let's see how it's all going to go. As Mahath Musa going down the straight. Daniel Rowe trying to gain up a little bit of time onto him. So Mahath Musa, Daniel Rowe, Andre Serradio, Jakob Hutzer and Conor Bergstrom are yet to cross the line. Mahath Musa looking to score big as he makes his way around. But let's bring in we'll start looking at bringing our interviews as here comes Mahath Musa. And Daniel Rowe comes across the line. So we're waiting for Serradio, who is still quite a bit back. And the likes of Conor Bergstrom, who is still out on circuit. They are waiting to see the end. So Conor Bergstrom and Serradio will be pushing to try and get to the end of this race. Serradio down the back straight, pushing as hard as he can. It has been a hard-fought fight for the Project Vapor driver and for Conor Bergstrom of the Pandassi Infiltrate Panda Pounds team. He scored a 30-second penalty at the start of the race. Nearly into the wall. Oh boy. So close. So close. Right towards the end there. Andre Serradio making his way through. I take my hat off to all the drivers that completed this race. And I can tell you, this is one track I'm too scared and not fast enough to be racing around. I think I'll never ever get to the checkered flag of the Nordschleife 24 circuit layout as our drivers make their way through. Jacco Kutzer still out on track, and Conor Bergstrom. That being said, though, I think we can start bringing in our drivers. It's going to have a chatter. So we're going to go to a bit of a track walk and recap on all the events that have happened so far. So what a day out right here in the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione, with some great racing from all our drivers, our leaders managing to survive the track. And we're going to be in the first of our runners that survived this extremely difficult circuit. Let's bring in the likes of Brandon Kruger. Brandon Kruger, welcome to the commentary box. Sorry for the delay, but what a race it has been. Some heart and mouth moments right the way through, but you ultimately taking the win. Take us through this monumental race on the calendar.
How's it, Stephen? Well, you know, it's Nordschleife. It's absolutely wonderful track to race. For one lap, I think the other 8-9 laps, they're truly horrible. Your arms really feel it after a few bumps or two. But yeah, it was a great fun. From the get-go, as I don't have many races in the season, I was just expecting to drive and survive and not really pushing it. So yeah, and to then just win the race after other people have pushed it a little bit too hard, it's quite a nice feeling to have managed to survive, especially after the Nürburgring 24-hour that we had. I think I had off every single stint I did. So to be able to finish this race cleanly is just a massive achievement on its own.
Just to finally break that streak. And I mean, you seem to be getting quicker and quicker. We know you as one of the quicker drivers. Is the confidence starting to come back to you with the car? Are you starting to feel more and more confidence? Because this is now round 4 done and dusted. 4 more rounds to go.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't race the previous 2 rounds, or the first 2 rounds, like I said last week. And last week I had the unfortunate disconnect. But I wouldn't say I'm confident in the car. I'm more surprised in how I'm taking to it. My pace is solid, especially after qualifying. I just hopped in 20 minutes before in practice session, did a lap or two. I was like, okay, the car is nice. It feels a lot more comfortable than the McLaren of last season. And yeah, no, I really enjoyed the ride. And then in the race, it was also very easy to take certain corners. Absolute pleasure actually to drive the Ferrari. So yeah, a good surprise for me.
Well, absolutely tremendous stuff out there. And honestly, a lot of the teams are saying well done. Anything you would like to say to all our fans, our teams out there, our drivers wanting to come into the world of RaceFace, and also to our sponsors, Adenauer Machinery Mart and SA Lube?
Yeah, so guys, come get racing. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Just because I had misfortune the first 3 races doesn't mean I'm going to quit. So you must always persevere. I just want to say thank you to our sponsors and making this possible, and also giving us a nice prize pool at the end, I believe. I'm not too sure.
There's things coming. You're gonna have to keep an eye on
all right.
You're gonna have to keep an eye on the social medias. There's things coming.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. But yeah, I'm not in the running for anything. Well, I won't be winning anything at the end of the season, but it's very nice to get pole, win a race, and yeah, I hope you guys all make it to the end of the season. Hopefully, we do not get load shedding after the elections. That would be a great thing, and then we can all finish up nice and tight.
Absolutely well done. Brandon Kruger taking the win for the KSR OG team. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
All right. Well, Brandon Kruger done and dusted. Let's bring in second place, Ryan Barrington-Smith. Ryan Barrington-Smith, I've taken you away while you are having a conversation. Well done on the race, though. A bit of an up and down run, and eventually just came down to pure strategy. How are you feeling after that one?
I feel pretty good, but I don't feel like I deserved a podium tonight. I
Well,
didn't have the pace. All I did was I told myself at the start of the race, survive and you'll get a decent result. And that's all that seems to have happened tonight.
But I mean, that's it. You survived the green hell. This is a track that's not about surviving against the fellow drivers. This is about surviving the circuit. But take us through driving around the Nordschleife in a Porsche. You're the only Porsche that was up there into the top 10. I mean, that is an achievement by itself.
Yeah, I mean, this Porsche, it feels terrible around this track. It's very slow. I mean, I've been driving the Aston Martin around this track, and it's about 5 seconds a lap quicker than the Porsche. And also the Porsche is just it's unstable through all the bumpy sections on the track. So I just had to be very careful. I decided not even to drive at 95%. I drove at 90% of my limit tonight. And even then, I still had mistakes. I still had spins. I don't know if you caught it, but on the last lap of the race, through the very fast right-hander after the hill, just as you go onto the Nordschleife, I spun there at like 220 k's an hour. And I just went sideways for 10 seconds, hoping that I wouldn't hit the barrier.
Now,
It was a bit scary.
One of those moments you think it's all over until it's not. But well done on the race, that being said, and representing the Logistical Nightmare Racing team. Anything you'd like to say to the crowd, to the spectators, to the sponsors, to all the petrol heads that are watching this now and in the future?
Yeah, of course. Now this was an awesome race. It's great to have everyone involved and enjoying it. And this is a great track for racing. It's difficult to race on, which makes it the awesome challenge that it is. It's so great to have this track in the game. And yeah, it's great to see everyone competing. We've got 3 classes, so many drivers. It's always good to get more drivers in. So hopefully some more people join us.
Absolutely tremendous stuff. Thank you, Ryan Barrington-Smith, going and winning it out for the Adenauer team. All right, well, with that being said, let's bring in third place, Darren Miller, for getting it, and was so close to losing it. Darren Thriller Miller, wow, well done. How are you feeling?
Fantastic.
Third place, and fourth place was closing up on you quite quickly, but what a race there. I mean, take us through what was running through your head. You were 1 minute, Alan was ahead of you, and next thing you got ahead of him and trying to get a go. You two were trying to stick together. How hard was it running so close with Alan and yourself?
No, we had a good strategy where we just keep it simple and try and maintain race pace. But what happens is we have the usual hitman de Villiers, who's our talkative one, and Alan and I keep quiet. And in this case, we both started talking and we both made mistakes and crashed. So that's what slowed us down at the end. And that's what caused me to go past Alan. So we lost a bit of concentration at the end.
Okay, it's always a
but
challenge.
Still great results.
No, extremely positive results, and well done. I mean, finally getting things back on track for yourself. You've had a few tough races throughout different seasons.
Very tough. I needed that one.
Well, that being said, we do have the team captain here. We've got Mr. Alan Patterson going and sitting in it. Alan, I'm sure smiling ear to ear. Good result for the team, finishing up in third and fourth place.
100%, Steve. Thanks. Very happy. I'm happy for my man Darren finally to get a monkey off his shoulder. He's been having some absolute dramas of late. We just I specifically just ran out of talent. I mean, we'd been behaving all the way up until the last lap kind of thing. We'd worked out the strats pretty good. We decided not to change tires, and as Darren said, we were just talking, and he then said, "Oh, I hit the wall just now," and I was like, "Oh, you didn't tell me this." And then I went through the carousel, and I hit the wall, so I seriously broke the car, and I had a whole lap to go with my hands at like 2 and 7. So Mondre was catching me from 15 seconds. I was a sitting duck for him, but I'm still happy for our result. PWSR Bravo getting a 3rd and 5th. Yeah, very good, man. On this track, I think I personally hate it. Every time Darren and me go, "Oh yeah, we got to do this again," but we try and focus as hard as we can just to survive. I think that's the name of the game with the Nordschleife, the Green Hell, and we almost did it this time.
I think it was a phenomenal result, and you had Jason Farmer as well, giving both you and Darren Miller a bit of grey hairs. How was it with having Jason Farmer, who is a blue flag car, suddenly getting into the mix and starting to push down on you guys?
No, it was good. I mean, I saw him coming. In fact, it was the start of the last lap when he got to me at the end of the main straight over the start finish line, and I moved over and he didn't kind of go, so I had to go around the right left, and then I indicated and just moved out the way and said, "Get on it, go buddy," and off he went, because he wasn't our race. He was a lap down, or he was behind us too fast, so it wasn't a bother to let him go. But Mondre caught us at a huge rate of knots, and there was nothing I could do about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, once you got the damage at top end, and also just cornering became difficult. Well, I'm going to say, first up, Darren, anything you would like to say to all the petrol heads out there, considering you got 3rd place and you managed to conquer the Green Hell getting into 3rd place? The floor is yours.
Best race ever. Fantastic result for the team. Happy for my team captain as well. He deserved the place I'm in, though. But and all I want to say is as well, PWSR Alpha, you got some work to do.
Oh, I would love to hear that. Well, Alan, as a team principal, you're just hearing a bit of a team spy there. Anything you would like to say to all the petrol heads watching tonight?
Thanks very much for all the support. Thanks for the stream, Steve. Well done to Thriller Miller. Unfortunately, our Alpha Alien, Daniel, he had a nightmare of a race, and our other guys, you know where. So we'll have to just get by for the next couple of weeks as it is, and we'll stick it out and do our best. But thanks again, Steve.
Absolutely tremendous stuff. Well done, Darren Miller on the 3rd place. Well done, Alan, to the entire team. Absolutely incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we will be going racing next week as we look to have a bit of fun out and about. So make sure that you join us next week starting at 8 o'clock. We will be heading out to the world of Circuit of Americas on the 30th of May. This weekend, though, we will be heading out for our iRacing Mini Enduro on Sunday. And next week, Tuesday, will be the final round of the SA Lube F4 Championship. Do not miss out on that. That's going to be an absolute nail-biter right to the end for both our Pro and Pro-Am. But a big thank you to our sponsors, Ondorf Machinery Mart and SA Lube, for being a big part of the RaceFace.Pro GT3 Championship. It's always lovely to have you guys around. And a big shout-out to you guys, the petrol heads, the teams, the families, the friends that keep returning in day and day out. Please make sure that you go and like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification icon and leave a comment down in the comments as well. Let us know how you enjoyed the race. But share it with your friends and family because a lot is happening here. There is a big change that's coming in the world of RaceFace.Pro. We expect to see some shorts coming out of the races and expect to see some more commentary coming out with our Pro-Ams soon enough. So keep an eye out on that and make sure you like, subscribe, share it all, share all the fun. Let us know what your favorite part is, and we'll see you next time right here at RaceFace.Pro. And like always, I'd like to say a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody, from THT Productions.